right, so Arnold Schwarzenegger doesn't just play a tough guy in movies. He also likes to take a hard line with his kids. He revealed on Jimmy Kimmel Live, thank you, sir, for that, that he once threw his son Patrick's mattress off the balcony into the swimming pool. And that's two yaps. He found out the kid hadn't made his own bed. So, Ryan, we're gonna go to you first. Do you think this was tough love or going too far?
This was great. This is awesome.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Yeah, this guy loves it. This guy.
You can tell that's a dad. That's someone's dad right now.
This guy looks a little less menacing than Arnold does. And but like that's the thing. I'm like, I would love to have Arnold Schwarzenegger in my house to just throw things around. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna hit my kids, but if my son doesn't clean up, I'd love to send Arnold in like, oh, your father should clean up. Like, just start yelling at him. Just, you disappointed him. He worked so hard. Like, get in his face.
Yeah, that would be great. What about you guys?
I mean, I'm gonna be unpopular, I think, with this audience. But like, first of all, with this story, I have some questions. Like, because apparently the story is that he was mad because the nanny made the bed, and I was like, is this the same house person who you had the affair with and then produced the child? Because maybe part of your reaction was based in more than just anger at your child. That was
Don't you know the nanny's my girlfriend? What are you doing?
Apparently he was his housekeeper, but anyway. So the other question I had is, like, if you actually threw it out the window and you said, this kid was 9 years old, and he said he dragged it out. Do you know how heavy a mattress would be soaked in water? There is no way, only someone with Arnold's strength could pull that mattress out of the sopping wet.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I think the hardship was the point.
Yeah, but he did it to himself, and Arnold had to pull it out. So
Arnold could do it with a pinky.
Anyway,
I know you're going with this because this is definitely not the Cynthia Loyst parenting way. That's why we love you.
This sounds like a rage decision. This doesn't sound like a centered, grounded parenting, giving boundaries. It sounds like, I'll be back.
Yeah. Which we expect maybe nothing different from Arnold. I will say this is probably closer to the way that I was raised. Maybe a lot of us were raised. And I, as a parent now of a 9-year-old, first of all, they can be sassy. I would imagine myself throwing many things out of a window if someone wouldn't call the cops. But also, I think, and of course, I do not condone any violence towards children, ever, ever, ever. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is the Gen X parenting conundrum, at least that I feel like I find myself in, is how do you raise your child to be like you when you are raising them in a world that is completely different than the world that you were raised in? And that is the challenge. Arnold was raised in Austria, old school. It was like hard work, consequences, physical labor. There was a lot that was so different. He's now rich. He was the governor. He's got so much money. He's got nannies. He's got help. But he still wants to raise his kids with the values that he was raised in. But how do you do that when there is a nanny picking up after your child? So I get the rage. The rule was you make your own bed. He's trying to have some kind of boundaries. You make your own bed. The nanny never makes your bed, or else. And that or else was followed by a consequence, which is something that my generation of parents have to practice. Consequences.
Yeah. No, I'm with you because my dad would be cheering right along next to you. Because in our family, the thing that was always said around the house was, those who don't hear shall feel. Which meant, if I have to talk to you more than once, and I have to talk to you more than twice, well, then you're forcing me to take it to that next level. And that's precisely what he explained when he was telling this story, that he had spoken to his son several times, and he wasn't listening, which, for some families, that's a sign of disrespect from your parents. It's like, I asked you to do something. You don't have to beg me to feed you, house you, anything. But when I ask you to make your bed, I shouldn't have to ask you more than once. And maybe, I understand, like, today's parenting is so different from the way we were raised. But then what do you do when a child is always just ignoring what you have to say?
Consequences.
Right? Listen, and you gotta think about it.
Other
For a parent who bought that mattress to throw that mattress out, and that's his money, that means that he's at a level of frustration with his kid, and he's trying to get his attention before somebody else. Because if you don't rein your kids in, who's gonna rein your kids in?
I had a kid at our house who came over, and with his parents, and his mom brought some salad or something, and the kid's like, ugh, this is disgusting. And he said that to his mother, and there was like no consequences. If I said that to my mother, and like, yes, I'd be kicked out the window. I'd be thrown out the window, not a mattress, like, for God's sake.
Yeah.
But there has to be a fine line between the two.
I think so. I mean, it's a good thing he has a lot of money to pay for his kids' therapy bills in the future.
Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.